I think which is a little different is I survived with a doll, a little girl with a doll. And I found out, well, I got her when I was 2 years old from my grandmother. I was an only child, only grandchild. And my mother was crazy about movie stars. So she had these albums with these pictures in it, you know. And one of them, she had on a, I think it was hot pink, something like that, reddish hot pink, and purple outfit. I remember it. And I said, Mom, she was blonde, blue-eyed. Who is she? Marlena Dietrich. So I named my doll Marlena. She was always with me. She was in almost every picture. Adored her. So the doll I brought to her, they wanted to take the doll away from me when I was deported. You know, we were gathered together in the different towns where we were living to make up the transport of over 1,000 hours, was close to 1,200. We were told to open everything. We had a suitcase and a duffel bag and all these things we were allowed to take, which they took away later on anyway. And they said, open everything. So one of the guards, by the way, I'm 7 years old at that time, 7. He liked the Dutch boy pin I was wearing, and he ripped it off me and yelled at me. You won't need this way. You're going in the Swabian dialect. Du brauchst es nicht, wo du hingehst. I didn't know where I was going. They didn't tell us. Then he saw my doll in my arms. He ripped her from me. And she was put together with rubber bands so you could lift her head. I think her head had an injury, whatever, and the new head had to be put on. So then they put it with rubber bands to keep the thing together. Lifted her head up, and she was hollow inside, so I was not hiding anything. I made a fuss, and then they gave me back my doll. Then we went to the main gathering place in 2 large rooms, and then on the train was still a passenger train, very crowded. And my doll was with me. And after about 2 days, we arrived, and we were told, drop everything except your bedroll, a little knapsack, metal dishes, and that's it. And I had my doll. And marching into the camp, and my doll in my arm, and they were whipping us. And my parents put me between them, that I shouldn't get hurt from the blows. We got there, and then they took us to a very large brick barrack, because Terezin was actually an army, a former army garrison town, an actual little town. And so that was the arrival. And for 2 years out of the 3, we shared a very tiny room with a couple from Berlin. They had a daughter, Ruth, and the father was half Jewish, the mother totally, but Ruth was brought up as a devout Christian. And she had the same doll. And when she went to Auschwitz, she gave me some of her doll's clothing sewn from rags. And she said, someday you'll give it back to me. She was from Berlin, which is all the way up in the north. I'm all the way up down south near the French-Swiss border, village. She came from the big city. And she took her to Auschwitz. Of course, she got killed within a few days. She never made it to her 10th birthday. I was 10 years old at the end of the war. So the doll, she was something from home, you know, to keep me a little bit more that I'm still a human being. I have a piece from home. And it reminded me of a good life at home. And she even had a duffel bag packed. She wore a duffel bag, just like me.
So you got Marlena when you were 2?
2.
And you had her until?
Yeah, until 20 years ago.
And
almost 60 years, almost. But anyway, I have a PowerPoint presentation, one in Germany. I showed it and talked. One lady comes and says, hey, do you know that your doll's real name was Inge? I said, what? The mother's name was Inge. My name is Inge. Never knew this. And then we found out that this was a doll made especially for the 1936 Olympics, the Hitler Olympics in Berlin. That's when Jesse Owens got a lot of awards, and Hitler wouldn't shake his hand because he was black. I wrote to the doll factory, but the lady, I think, bought me also a catalog. So there was a Barbara, Bearable, and Erica, and there was Inge. We never knew about this. So probably my grandmother, not thinking of anything, oh, there's an Inge doll. My granddaughter is Inge, I'll buy her that one, you know? And had I known that she even has my name, this is just, she became me and I became her. She became a real human being to me, you know? And we have both survived.